Hey, what's up, guys? Shuckle King here, bringing you TBL Finals.
We're starting? Oh, hi.
Oh, yeah, we started.
Oh,
Yeah, we started right now.
Pasta YouTube? No, stop.
No.
Pasta YouTube, AK. What's up, YouTube?
Yeah, no, it like we definitely should have made it to finals, but like you got hacked, so like you have to appreciate they actually got this far.
Yeah, and
like,
then you get a victory stolen out from under you, but
yeah, and then you lose to hacks in the finals, which is bad. But
sometimes Pokemon is just bad. You get unlucky in the most important game of the entire season, but it's okay.
And as you can see on my screen, my my username on Showdown is called Bad Leo. So
yeah, shut up.
I was able to register that name. So just watch out for that in the future.
Go away.
But yeah,
Bad
so
Leo to number 1 on ladder.
Man, what was the last time I laddered for Smogon? It's been years.
I've been
definitely.
having the itch, man. I've really been having the itch to ladder.
Ooh.
I really have.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we're here for something else. We're here for something else. Leave a like down below if you guys want to see the actual battle. That will be on my channel probably tomorrow at this time for real. It didn't happen with semifinals. That's on me. But this time for real, it'll be up the day after this probably goes up. I
do my job. But no, no. Definitely check out Leo's channel.
I treat YouTube like my actual job. It says come in at 4, I'll show up like 4:15. Don't care.
I actually do the same thing. I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah, we're here. We're taking on the team that we faced in the first week of the TBL, and hopefully the outcome is the same this time around because we're taking on Washu Beartix, coached by our boy actually, TTM Jolt, and his boy GoldoaDragon. So yeah, we were able to beat them week 1. We're facing them here in finals, which is crazy because everything is hopefully coming full circle with us winning again like we did in week 1. But obviously because we already faced them, then we gotta kind of change our prep up. And the only issue with that is that we kind of made a semi-serious team, and because it was only week 1, they didn't make a serious team at all. They just had a really fun, not a fun team, but like not as serious, more fun team, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, they're definitely formidable opponents for sure. Yeah, no, I teamed up with Jolt in the past. I know how he operates. So
me too. Yo, Jolt is crazy when Jolt actually tries. He's easy one of the best players for draft. Like it's crazy. Jolt can really be.
Yeah, so we're definitely nervous about this matchup, but they have a lot of threats. So hopefully we can hopefully we can win this game. But
I guess like the annoying thing about rematches too is that because you've already seen certain sets they brought in their first game, you start noticing other potential sets that they could potentially bring and use certain threats, which is really annoying.
Exactly.
I think we definitely went through that as well. Honestly.
Yeah, we might have benefited from making like free agent moves just to like change up our team a bit, but like I like the team that we had, so we didn't change it up.
It was definitely a lot more fun. It was one of our more fun drafts that each of us have drafted, and we just kind of
definitely.
Let's have a bit more fun with this team. Regardless, though, we made it to finals, which is more than awesome, honestly. Like we got robbed of a victory, we got hacked out of one game, and then we had to win our way into a bye week. And then we won the semis and made it here to finals. So, hey, either way was a fun, awesome season. So, take it away, Shuckle.
Definitely. So, looking at this matchup, what do we think are the most threatening things? I think
Gardevoir, hands down. I'm super terrible. Dude, just like offensive fairies in general just really scare me.
Exactly.
Honestly, for our matchups because our steal is Cobalion. And then we've noticed, realized this from our semifinals match, they could potentially have Toxic to deal with Arcanine, even if it's not on Gardevoir. But the thing about Gardevoir, though, in this matchup is that it has to be Scarf. There's got to be Trick Room.
Yeah.
So they probably won't have Toxic on Gardevoir, but they'll most likely have it on something else, just so they can Toxic Arcanine and beat it a little easier if we do bring it. Terrakion, very terrifying.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we have 2 Ghosts, but like if it sets up a Rock Polish, it could definitely be pretty threatening, and it could to a KO Quagsire, which is probably the best mon on our team to take on Terrakion.
The best mon, that's the only mon that takes on Terrakion.
It actually basically is the only mon that kind of takes on Terrakion. It doesn't take it on depending on the set, but it kind of takes it on.
To put it in perspective, basically, literally the only time you brought Quagsire was week 1 when we faced Washu Beartic. Literally. So yeah, the playlist for the season will be either down in this description or the final video. But if you watch from the beginning to the end, it was only like 7 weeks, only like 5 or 6 were uploaded because we got 1 forfeit win. But if you watch all those games, we do not bring Quagsire once except for week 1 because of Terrakion. Like, look at our team. Close combat plus Stone Edge murders everything. And if you're thinking, oh, hey, why don't you bring Focus Sash Sigilyph? Well, Terrakion got access to Rock Blast, which funnily enough, they brought week 1, even though it didn't come into play. So that's still something that now we have to take into consideration. So, yeah, Terrak, absolutely terrifying. Noctowl also, I think, definitely comes this time around because it's just so good on paper to deal with our ghosts.
Yeah, exactly, because it is a normal type. And it has pretty good special defense. It doesn't have the greatest physical defense, but special defense is definitely good enough that it could take on, like, Specs, Dragapult, Dracometers. He can take 2 and roost up, and then we can't really do much in return. And Gengar, like, unless it's like Thunderbolt, I guess, we can't do that much.
Thunderbolt or we're Toxic it.
Yeah, or Toxic it, yeah.
Then
we can't do
not really much to do with it.
A ton to the Noctowl. And Noctowl could be like Nasty Plot with Hurricane, and like, what's our flying resist? Stunfisk? But Stunfisk doesn't really do a whole lot for us this game.
Literally only Stunfisk. Yeah, like offensive Noctowl or just Nasty Plot and Noctowl in general is really scary. Because they could be like super fat with Nasty Plot and just want to nuke things. Offensively, though, Terrakion and Gardevoir, I definitely think are the biggest issues. The Rain Core of Ludicolo and Seismitoad is kind of scary, honestly, but I personally think they don't bring both Ludicolo and Seismitoad because then it limits them on what they have to potentially check some offense that we have.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess they could bring both potentially. There's also a chance that they just bring like a purely defensive Seismitoad in general, which seems likely. Copper is also something that we expect to come to this game because it's, I think, honestly, their only real answer to Gengar outside of Noctowl, right?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. So, and Copper has a lot of coverage for our team, which is just super annoying.
How much coverage Copper really has. Like, I never dawns on me until I look through its move pool, and I'm like, holy shit, why do you learn all of these different attribute moves? It's crazy.
Like, you would think Quagsire would wall, but no, Copper gets Power Whoop, and that speeds us and kills.
You'd think Rotom would wall, but it gets Heat Crash, which they brought week 1.
Yep. And you think, like, maybe Scrafty would intimidate walls? No, to get Play Rough and get to a
for
KO.
For some reason. You think Arcanine to wall. No, it gets Earthquake and Rock Slide. And then it gets Sheer Force above that, too. So, yeah, offensively, Copper is really scary. So going into this game, 2 of the biggest things, obviously, as we said, are the potential Trick Room core and then just Rain Dance in general. Again, we don't think that both Ludicolo and Toad come, but one or the other in Rain Dance could be very terrifying. Another thing, too, is that we're not really concerned about Rotom, Salazzle, or Girder. Those 3 are probably the least threatening mons going into this game, just because we already have so much on paper that can deal with them. And they brought Salazzle week 1, but it did absolutely nothing, so there's a good chance they probably won't end up bringing it again this time around.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely fair. And honestly, I think Girder has a little bit of viability to come. Not much, but depends how threatening they feel about Scrafty Cobalion, and Scrafty did pretty well in our first matchup. Yeah. So, like, Girder's a pretty decent answer to Scrafty, and Girder has knockoff, so it can hit Dragapult and Gengar for pretty decent damage. So Girder could come, but I don't think they would prioritize bringing it, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, like we have some good answers to it. Like both of our goats hit it pretty hard on the special side. We have Galar Rapidash and we have Sigilyph as it is anyways.
Well, Galar Rapidash is bad. But...
If you don't, shut up.
All right.
No, I'm done with this. Whatever. Let's just get into what we're bringing because we're gonna end up fighting if we don't.
Yeah. So the basis of this team, we're gonna bring double Ghost. I think we've brought Dragapult, Gengar to every game.
No, literally what you say. Okay, so the first thing that Shuckle says is, yeah, we're bringing Gengar and Dragapult. So
yeah.
Double Ghost. Yeah, there we go. Double Ghost, yeah. Both Gengar, Dragapult. You don't want to bring Dragapult? You're crazy. We're bringing Dragapult.
Yeah.
No, Gengar? What? No, we're bringing Gengar. I don't want to argue, so it's like 5. All right, we'll bring it. We'll bring Double Ghost. We brought it every single week.
And the third one we have to bring is AV Salvali, because it feels like we brought that to every game, even though it's bad.
AV Salvali's so good. You know what's funny too? You were questioning whether or not, when we were drafting, you were questioning whether or not we should get Double Ghost. I was like, let's just go Double Ghost. It seems like a good idea.
Did I question it? All right, I'll give you some.
Yeah, it got us this far. Thank you.
It did. It's been a lot of fun, actually. All right, so Gengar.
It has worked out way better than I had expected.
Exactly, yeah. Like, there's not many normal types that take this on, like in Galar decks. And
then we have Cobalion too to deal with
dark types,
whatever normal type
or normal types. Well. Yeah,
that's crazy. But yeah, Double Ghost. Oh, we got to get into this.
Yeah, so we have Gengar here as the first one. So we decided to go with Dual Stab, Will-O-Wisp, and Substitute. So, like...
We were debating, I think, on what exactly to run. I mean, I think ultimately sub 3 attacks Gengar has been mainly what we brought throughout this entire season. But to be honest, like, it's worked out so effectively. Like, Gengar is a Pokemon where it doesn't quite get OHKOs, but it's able to wear things down and do enough damage. So going into this game, we did bring sub last time, even though we never went for it. We were 3 attacks. But the reason why we have Will-O-Wisp now, I think we had Focus Blast, I think, over Will-O-Wisp last time.
Yeah, but Leo's scared about hitting Focus Blast.
So. Finals, if we miss a Focus Blast, come on.
What happens if we miss a Will-O-Wisp? Then what are you gonna do?
Will-O-Wisp hits more than Focus Blast. That's a good enough argument for me. but the thing about it is that both Will-O-Wisp and Focus Blast are for only Copper
Yeah.
And we figure, well, if we want to have a better chance of not missing, we can just go for Will-O-Wisp on Copper and burn that. And realistically, the only good answer to Gengar is Copper. Like, yeah, they could have a Spadef Boots Noctowl, but if we poison that or toxic it, then it's going to be eventually worn down over time and beaten a lot easier than it normally would be.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a couple of mons that could potentially toxic and knocked out if we feel like that's going to be problematic. And Sludge Bomb can also poison in and of itself. I think we don't 2-hit KO with Sludge Bomb, but we're pretty close to 2-hit KOing with Sludge Bomb, especially if we get a poison. So we'll definitely take that exchange there. So going with the Double Ghost theme, we have to bring the Dragapult. So we got the Undertaker here. And
hey, the dead man himself. Shouts out to the Undertaker, who supposedly quote unquote retired. You guys watch WWE if you
did he?
Are a fan. Apparently that's what he said, and like they did like a little documentary for WWE Network on him, and he said that his last WrestleMania match was his final match. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, shouts out to the Undertaker. Hopefully we can win the chip for him in his honor.
He's like one of the 3 people I actually know in WWE.
Oh, dude, everybody knows Undertaker. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't watch WWE. If you've never watched it in your life, you know who the Undertaker is.
He's just scary.
You know who he is. He's the legend. He is the GOAT. He is the man, the myth, the legend himself. But yeah, we have Undertaker here, Dragapult.
You can't say he's the GOAT. We have a GOAT on our team already. Harris.
Go away. No, you do not disrespect Undertaker. That's how I've learned to not disrespect Dragapult, because it's actually been so much better this season than I had expected it to be, honestly. But
yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good mon. So our week 1 game, I think we ended up bringing Scarf, and I really fought to bring Scarf again because Scarf Dragapult just covered so much outside of like a Trick Room core and rock polish terrakion. Besides that, though, we dealt with any Scarfer they had. We dealt with their rain core. We were able to do damage to everything, even if we expecting Noctowl, we can just U-turn out against it. So outside of Trick Room and allowing Terrakion to rock polish, which realistically we wouldn't try to do anyways, then Scarf Dragapult basically won. But I can understand why switching things up worked out for the best, because this time we are running Dragon Dance, because this actually just wins at +1 speed. We were debating about it for a while, and I think I mentioned, like, why not Dragon Dance? Like, a +1 Dragon Dance literally outspeeds the entirety of their team, and this can be our ultimate win condition. And then Shuckle suggested that we should have U-turn on it as our final move, because we can kind of bluff
that were choice
not
scarf.
Dragon Dance. Yeah, or that were choice scarf again, because we had Scarf U-turn originally in week 1. So if we have U-turn again this time around, yeah, they could probably tell that we have a lot of attack investment, but they could still assume that we're Scarf, but this time we're just physical Scarf or mixed Scarf. So yeah, U-turn is nice early game to kind of bluff that we're not set up, and then once we get ourselves in the right position, we come in Dragon Dance, which basically our correct position is to severely weaken or get rid of Copper and just weaken Seismitoad basically.
Exactly, yeah. And then, yeah, Dragon Darts basically hits everything pretty well, minus the Gardevoir, which is obviously immune, and then we have Steel Wing to hit that.
Yeah, Steel Wing, I think, was only really for Gardevoir. Like, it would have been nice to have Phantom Force on this, but they could play around that. And then, I mean, if we get rid of Copper anyways, then it doesn't really matter what our other coverage move is going to be.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so I think U-turn to just bluff that we're, maybe Choice Scarf would be worth it. The spread is just to add speed. What's the speed for?
Speed creeping Salazzle?
Yes,
because
speed creeping Salazzle.
Like 252. Yep. So we were trying to creep their potential speed creep. Now, we could creep enough to outspeed Salazzle, but because we're not Scarf this time around, and at +1, we outspeed the Rain Core anyways, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So we figured that we don't need to worry about the Rain Core, because the Rain Core only takes an effect if they have the Rain Dance up. So we're not going to let them Rain Dance on our Dragapult, and if Rain Dance is already up, because we're not Scarf, they're faster than us anyway. So we don't have to reach that point. But if we do get the Dragon Dance up, then we outspeed basically everything regardless. So we had enough speed for that, the Salazzle creeping, and then Adamant +1 just basically murders everything.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be fun. We were debating about the item a little bit, but...
Yeah, I'm still not sold on Colberberry, but it makes sense.
I know. So, like, if Seismitoad is, like... We're scared, like, in general of our team, of an offensive Seismitoad, like Life Orb with knockoff. Now, Leo doesn't think knockoff is going to come, and...
I don't, like, it makes... So they need to have Power Whip for Quagsire. Yeah. So, okay, so what I'm thinking, they're going to be Rain Dance, Power Whip, Liquidation, and then I guess they could be Earthquake for their last move.
Or Ice Punch.
They could have Poison Jab or Ice Punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I figured they would have Ice Punch to hit both Dragapult and Rotom Mo. So I was like, Yache Berry makes a lot of sense, because... So I think originally we wanted to go with like Dragon Fang, but we still kind of want to have some pseudo answer to potentially the Ludicolo or the Seismitoad, which it makes sense for one or the other to run Ice Stab over Seismitoad running Poison Jab or Knockoff. But
sure,
I mean it's fine.
Yeah, and we have the benefit here, like if they are Scarfed Hydreigon and we come down to it, first we can get a Cursed Body if they're Scarfed, and we can set up Dragon Dances on it and win. And we're Colberberry, so we also take a hit at the worst. And we can set up a Dragon Dance and then add speed. The Hydreigon and be in pretty good position. So this also handles the Hydreigon in addition to maybe like an offensive Seismitoad with knockoff. Yeah, so we figured with extra speed on the team in addition to Gengar and Dragapult, I feel like Cobalion feels like a pretty good addition to this team. It's something we didn't bring the first time we faced off, but I feel like Cobalion still has a pretty decent matchup in this game. And
especially with its dual step. Like, their only real answer to dual step Cobalion is Rotom and I guess Salazzle, but again, I personally don't think Salazzle is coming. Like, it did so bad week 1. Yeah. I don't see why they would want to bring it again. And Rotom in general has a very bad matchup. So even if it did come, we could eventually overwhelm it for set up Terrakion. Not Terrakion, sorry. Set up Cobalion to win in itself. I think we were originally considering like Rock Polish Stealth Rocks, but we figured we needed some type of speed because we don't want to try and go Scarf Dragapult again. So Scarf Cobalion actually does make a lot of sense going into this game, because with them potentially not having Salazzle or Rotom Mo, our dual stab basically hits everything decently hard. Like, Cobalion only has base 90 attack, but it's still doing pretty good damage regardless.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Between Ironhead and Close Combat, we're doing a lot of damage to his team. I guess at worst, we speed tie a Terrakion, but I don't think Terrakion's going to be Choice Scarf, just because Choice Scarf Terrakion doesn't beat our Quagsire, which we showed in week 1 was our primary answer for Terrakion. So I feel like they have to be some type of boosting item. So I think we guaranteed outspeed a Cobalion with our speed. It looks pretty straightforward with our EV investment, but it just makes sense to like at worst speed tie a terrakion. Like maybe if we get knocked off by a Seismitoad or a Salazzle or a Girder, then like if we don't have our choice scarf, we still at least speed tie with a terrakion maybe, and we kill with close combat. So that definitely seems like a benefit there.
Wait, why is Cobalion shiny? The fuck?
Oh, shiny's great.
Did you make it? Why is it? I don't like shiny. Why everyone shiny?
I didn't make it shiny. I don't care.
I didn't have it shiny either. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, but Scarf Cobalion makes pretty good sense on paper. Like we don't outspeed the Rain Core in rain, which is a little annoying, but hopefully we can play around that with the rest of our team. And then Dual Stab smacks everything. Volt Switch is really good if they don't bring Seismitoad, just because that allows us to gain free momentum. And then Stealth Rocks, because if you miss semifinal, Stealth Rocks are really nice.
Yeah, they're okay. And if we don't reveal we're scarfed initially, then they're forced out by a couple lines. Like hydreigon can't stay in on a Cobalion, so we can get rocks up if we have that situation in the game. And then maybe we don't reveal that we're choice scarf just because we want more first stealth rocks on our first turn against a hydreigon. So we have a couple of those situations.
Potentially be a really good lead if they don't have Toad, I think.
Exactly. So we have a pretty, like these three are a pretty nice offensive core. So we figured they also have a pretty sizable offensive presence against us as well. So we have to have some answers for them. And definitely a very big threat against our team is Terrakion. Terrakion like can basically it murders us.
It's really bad. Like we have nothing for it.
Yeah, we basically have nothing for it, but we have to like show some effort, and we might have something that can kind of take it on. So that's why we brought Quagsire again, and I believe this is the exact same spread that we brought week 1.
I think it's the same spread and same set from week 1. I think we had Scald originally, but then we were like, oh hey, if they have fat water absorbed Toad, then we can't really damage it. So yeah, we just went back to the very same set. Like there's not really much Quagsire can do in this match. I mean, we need recovery for keeping this alive. We need Protect to be able to even live 2 non-banded hits from Terrakion as it is after rocks. Toxic is just really good because it gives us some way of wearing things down.
Like the hydreigon and the Toad.
Musharna even. I guess Rotom, but I doubt it comes. But you get what I'm saying. Noctowl. And then our final move, and Noctowl too, yeah. And then our final move is just Earthquake, because we would have ran Scald if Seismitoad didn't have Water Absorb as an ability, because Scald is pretty free otherwise. But yeah, we really don't want to risk a Water Absorb Seismitoad coming to this game if it is defensive, and just them knowing like, oh hey, they can't touch Toad, so let me switch that in. So
exactly.
Yeah, exact same set. Not much to say about it. It does everything we needed to do originally. So do you have any other input?
Yeah, no, this makes sense. And then like I guess for Caparajah, Earthquake will hit it harder than Earth Power, just because we expect it to probably be Assault Vest if Caparajah comes, like it was in week 1.
Yeah. So I mean it's fine. But our next team member here, moving on to our Spadef defensive mon, which is going to be, of course, the legendary,
the worst
Assault Vest Silvally.
Terrible.
I know we brought it so much, but dude, it works. Like I don't like. Why are you getting upset at something that you know works?
Well, I mean, at least we're bringing a cool move this week.
Yeah, this time we have Explosion, which is, I mean, we could have made Facade, but it's not really that big of an issue. Like Silvally, I honestly think has way too much pressure on it in this match. Just because we needed to check the Gardevoir, the Hydreigon, potentially the Noctowl, Seismitoad even, or like Ludicolo, Salazzle as well. Is just, there's a lot of pressure on Silvally, but we don't need Silvally to beat everything that we needed to check. As long as we can get rid of like 1 or hopefully 2 of those mons, and that's what Explosion allows us to do. It lets us immediately nuke any especially offensive threat that we see that we're worried about, just so we can get rid of it throughout the entire battle, which is the main reason why we had Explosion here. It's just nice to automatically go 1 for 1 essentially and get rid of a scary offensive threat. And U-turn for momentum, multi-attack for stab, and Grass Pledge for literally just Seismitoad.
Yep, exactly. Yep, we have nothing to hit the Caparajah really nothing to hit the Rotom. Rotom's not going to come, but mainly we had nothing to hit the Copperajah. But again, Cobalion could handle it if it doesn't have Power Whip, which it probably does, but Quagsire can handle it. But the last mon that we have in our team could definitely handle our Copperajah, which is really the only mon we don't handle on the team as of now. But now we can handle it because
super scary.
Yeah, so we have Rotom to handle the Copperajah. So as we could see here, well, yeah, you can explain. We can explain our thought process. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue that we had when we were building our team is really figuring out what deals with Seismitoad, Arcanine, Copperajah, and potentially Hydreigon. I think we originally had Arcanine, which we brought Arcanine to our first game, which was just fat, heavy Boots, which, I mean, we brought every week, but it's just, dude, Boots is so amazing.
Boots is great. It is, actually, yeah.
So yeah, we originally had Arcanine, but the more we thought about it, the more we realized that we need to get rid of Seismitoad. Seismitoad is literally, like, the main issue stopping so much of our offense.
Yeah, it handles our Gengar, it handles our Cobalion, it handles our Quagsire if they have Power Whip, and it handles our Dragapult. Only our Silvally really handles the Seismitoad at this point. So we really need a little bit more offensive presence.
We really needed something for the Toad. Like, we do have Grass Pledge on Silvally, but if it is physically offensive Toad, which is what we're expecting with Rain Dance, then Silvally's not a switch-in. Then you can say, well, why don't you put Giga Drain on Gengar? Well, then Shadow Ball, yes, does still hit Copperajah, but it doesn't 2-hit KO. But Will-O-Wisp, even though it's not doing damage, it still burns it, halving its attack to make it easier for us to deal with. So we really figured that we need to have something to deal with Toad, because that's the main thing that we're trying to get rid of, while also being able to get rid of the Copperajah. Because once Copperajah is gone, Dragapult just wins if we get it in and Dragon Dance. If Seismitoad is gone, that means Gengar wins and Cobalion wins. So that in itself is just a really big win-win scenario. Like Rotom, while it's not necessarily as bulky as Arcanine, it's still able to deal with more Pokemon that we're trying to get rid of, essentially.
Yeah, mainly the Seismitoad and the Copperajah. Because with the Aqua Berry, the only move that Copperajah has that really hits us pretty hard is Heat Crash. With Aqua Berry and our defense investment, we're able to live 2 max attack Heat Crashes from Copperajah, and we can go for a Will-O-Wisp, and then we're going to be brought down to like less than 10%, but then we could Pain Split and be back to healthy again.
Yeah, and Copperajah has hella HP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it has a lot of HP. And at that point, we can easily kill with Gengar or Dragapult at that point. So, yeah, Rotom's mainly there to handle the Copperajah, but it can also kind of handle the Seismitoad that Arcanine really can't deal with. That's why we went with Rotom over to Arcanine in this matchup.
Yeah, Arcanine is still good, but there was no way that we could fit both of them onto the squad here. But yeah, that's our finals team here. We changed a few things up. I think the only real thing we kept the same was Quagsire. I guess kind of Gengar, but
kind of Gengar, but yeah. But we definitely changed it up a bit. Hopefully it's for the better. I mean, we won week 1, so like, why would we bring that team again? But
yeah, like they're definitely gonna bring different things, and this time Jolt's actually gonna try. And like we said earlier, if Jolt actually tries, things can get a little bit hectic.
Yeah, definitely scared about that. But whether we win or lose, definitely a fun season. And,
for sure. We made it this far with a really fun team.
Yeah,
and Double Ghost was a real good blast.
Even though we had a bad Rapidash, but
I was about to say Rapidash got 1 kill. Shut up. Go away. Hopefully it'll be a champion, so you can shut your mouth.
But yeah, make sure you check out the battle. Should be up on Leo's channel tomorrow, so we'll see how well this team does. We won week 1. Hopefully we can continue the trend to finals.
Let's come full circle. Week 1, winning the finals. We'll see how things go. So yeah, guys, battle up tomorrow. Check it out. And I don't know, man. I'm nervous. I'm excited. Hopefully we win, man.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah.
Oh, I really hope we win.
All right. Until next time. Later, guys.
All right. Later, everybody.